Good morning. Now, these got some dew on them. I want to introduce you guys to solar panels. A lot of people have basically no clue how a solar panel system works. And so I'm going to try and explain it as simple as possible. And here we go. I'll start with saying each solar panel has two cables coming out of it, a negative and a positive. Every one of them has a negative and a positive coming out of it. And on the back of a solar panel is this specs sticker with specs on it. Yeah, and dirt specs. But it says that it's this one is a 100-watt maximum power solar panel. And the open circuit voltage right there at the second one down is 21.2 volts. That's probably one of the most important numbers on here. The open circuit voltage, 21.2 volts. And depending on how you hook them up, if you hooked all the positives together and all the negatives together, you would only have 21.2 volts. But you'd have 400 watts of solar. But if you hook them up like a battery and a flashlight, where you take the negative from this one and you plug it into the positive of this one, and then you take that negative from the same one and plug it into the positive of the next one, kind of like a daisy chain, right? Positive to negative, and then at the end you've got a negative, and at the other end you've got a positive. That's called series connection. I'm sorry. Yeah, series connection. And so in that case you would get 88 volts and 400 watts. So either way, you're still getting 400 watts in from the sun, but your voltage may change and your amperage changes. Let's come back to this panel, to the sticker for a second. So the third one down is a short circuit current, which is 6.02 amps. Max power current, 5.62 amps. So we'll just say each one of these is a 6 amp solar panel. When you daisy chain them, you're going to get 88 volts and only 6 amps. But if you hook them in parallel, you're going to get, 22 volts, but you're going to get 4 times the amps. So you'd get 22 volts and 24 amps instead of 6 amps. So what's the difference? The difference is probably the rest of the equipment in your system. Higher voltages with less amps can use much smaller wires. To carry a lot of amps, you need big, thick, heavy wires. And so you really want to get your voltage as high as you can to save money on the wiring, because big, thick cables are expensive. Like I said, hooking these up in parallel, where all the pluses are together and all the negatives are together, you're only going to get 22 volts, but you're going to have 24 amps. You're going to need a big fat wire for that 24 amps. But hooking them up in series, you're going to get 88 volts, but only 6 amps. And so your wire can be much smaller, and it'll carry better over longer distances. So let's look at this little AA battery, right? It's 1.5 volts. Now, if I take and I connect plus to negative, then we have 3 volts, right? Same idea as the solar panels. And then plus to negative, 4.5. And then plus to negative, 6 volts. We've got 6 volts in those 4 batteries. But if I connect these all like this, all the negatives together and all the pluses together, we're still only going to have 1.5 volts coming out of it, but we're going to have a bigger bank, right? We're going to have more of it. Solar panels are kind of like along that same concept. All right, well, this concludes part 1 of my introduction to solar. I can keep it under 5 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, whatever it is you do, if you want to see more of this stuff, because I'm going to try and continue as we go. and show you more.